Hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic episode. We're here for our biggest episode so far. This week on Mining for Mayhem, I'm going once again mining with one of my favorite guests of all time. She is back. Yes, it is your favorite guest as well. Welcome back, Queen. How are you?
It's happy to be here. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I have no idea what that accent was.
It was funny. I giggled.
So how's your new queendom going? Because
New
obviously,
Queendom's good.
since the last time we talked, a lot has changed. You're now on, I can't even think of what it's called now. It's not the one I use, it's the other one. I'm on Anchor, you're on Podbean.
Podbean. That's right. Yes, that's right. That's where everything launches from to go out to, iTunes and Spotify and all that good stuff. So, yep, I am. I'm on my own. I'm in my own new castle, self-built. It's pretty dope. I'm having a good time. I will say that. It's been a very interesting end of 2019, but it's going good.
That's for sure. It's been interesting all around, especially since we had what I would have said almost terrible Saudi show, which caused disaster afterwards, which led to probably the best 4 weeks of Raw and SmackDown in years.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's been a very interesting time since that plane incident, and just the fact of what they were able to make that Friday SmackDown into. I've enjoyed the SmackDowns more than I've enjoyed the Raws personally, and NXT above them both. But I will say, what I feel like WWE does very well is when their back's against the wall and they got to pull the trigger and do something, they tend to do something great. And bringing Adam Cole onto that SmackDown was top billing money all day, every day. So I definitely agree with that. It's been a very hot 4 weeks in terms of building towards this pay-per-view. That's, we're going to be enjoying War Games and Survivor Series now, and it's definitely been very interesting. We'll say that.
Yeah, well, normally I'd be saying War Games and whatever it is on tomorrow, but we've just hit midnight here in Australia, so we're just under. It starts at 10 a.m. I believe, Queensland time, so we're just under 10 hours away.
Oh boy, crazy.
Oh, yeah. All right, so the main reason why we're here today is because it's a big week all around. We have had our 6-month birthday. Mining for Mayhem has turned 6 months old. We are also in Australia celebrating the release of Disney Plus. Now, obviously, the States got it before we did. You got it at the week before, I believe, was it?
Yes, the week before you guys, yes. Mm-hmm.
How has that been for you?
Oh my God. Life changing. Crazy? Yeah, I've gone Disney crazy, but I've also gone Star Wars crazy and Marvel crazy. So it's been like a revisit of childhood / what is all this new stuff, and just discovering things that I hadn't seen in a really long time. I'm shocked that they didn't do this sooner. Just seeing the vast literally vault of content that they have is mind-blowing. Like, I opened Disney Plus for the first time and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Like, they literally have everything.
Yes. Oh my God.
Everything. Yes. And I was just in love from the first second I turned it on.
So tell me, what's the sitch? What have you been binge watching?
Okay, well, first of all, I am a huge Disney Channel original movie junkie. So I've run the gamut. I've done Smart House, all 3 Xenons. I did all 3 High School Musicals, the Halloween Towns, Brink. So I went old school first, and then I just watched like a couple of Marvel movies because I'm obsessed with the Avengers. So I watched Infinity War and Endgame. And then I've been binging High School Musical, the series, the musical. And I've been binging The Mandalorian as much as you can binge because there's only 3 episodes now. But
Yeah.
I've been obsessed.
I'm halfway through episode 3, but I'm so loving it. And what's driving me nuts about The Mandalorian is at work, all the younger ones, other than, like, because I'm about 10 years older than everyone, they're all calling it Baby Yoda. And then whether that's what they actually think or they're just saying it to get under my skin, I flare up. And their response is, okay, boomer. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Oh God, please relax. Well, they released something yesterday about the Baby Yoda thing. And we're calling it Baby Yoda because right now we have no name, right? So there's no name for the species. There's no name for this little baby. But it's the closest thing that we can relate to is Yoda, right? So they're calling him Baby Yoda. It's not Baby Yoda. Or is he? We don't know. So it's like, when's the timeline for this Mandalorian? Who is the Mandalorian? It's very interesting stuff. I will say that. I don't want to spoil it too much for people, but they've seen the GIFs and stuff all around with hashtag Baby Yoda. But I definitely understand why it's annoying. But also, what else are we supposed to call it,
Well, what I'll argue on that is, I think it's in the first 10 minutes of the first episode, they say it's the long time since the Empire has fallen. So I will argue it's either someone from Yoda's race or Yoda's descendant. And that is what I've been arguing.
That's probable.
It's Yoda's descendant. So
probably.
It's Yoda's great-great-great-great-great-grandchild. And then I saw a rumor of there was a female Yoda called Yatta or something. I can't remember the name of it, and apparently Yoda may have got frisky with Yatta and had a child, and that's what led to Yoda's descendants.
Well, it'll be very interesting to find out. I'm very interested in the timeline of this. Mr. Queen is a huge Star Wars person, so we were chatting about it, obviously, because we watched together, and he was like, I think this is between the original movies, like 4, 5, and 6, and the new movies that have come out. And he goes, I think it's in between. He goes, but I can't tell you, like, how many years that is. But he goes, that's my guess. And I said, oh, interesting. So, and there's another rumor, but I don't want to spoil it because, I don't want people who haven't seen it to get mad at me. So maybe I'll DM you that privately, and we'll chit-chat about it.
All right. So in celebration of Disney Plus, taking one of Queen's ideas that she did a couple of weeks ago with the superheroes in wrestling followed up by supervillains in wrestling, Queen and I are going to do Disney in wrestling. All right. So basically the idea of this is we pick a Disney character and then give a little description about it and then basically reveal which wrestler they are. Essentially, I believe that's how it works. Am I wrong?
No, that's right. So that's what I did with the superheroes, and you just pick your character, explain their personality, or explain something about them, and then choose the person that you feel in wrestling best represents that character.
All right. So, ladies first. Queen, who is your first Disney in wrestling?
Oh, well, I'm starting off strong, literally, with Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Now, Gaston, of course, is your arrogant, full of himself, loves his own reflection, has a little sidekick, LeFou, wants the prettiest girl in town, even though he wants to change her and he doesn't really care about her. He just wants to have the prettiest girl in the village as his wife. And, he's a villain. He's not really the nicest guy. He's great at speaking, and, there's a lot of muscles. So I was thinking, like, who would best embody this Gaston, like, narcissistic personality? And the only person I could think of right away, this was the easiest one for me, was MJF.
Nice.
So MJF as Gaston, I can just see it happening, even with the scarf. It just works so well. So that's my first pick.
Nice. I did see something when I was doing my research for this about Gaston. It definitely wasn't MJF, but I love MJF fits that so well.
Yeah, it's fun, huh?
Yeah. All right. So I agreeing with you of going big. It's either go big or go home. Now, my one is from the movie Big Hero 6, and I'm focusing on Baymax here. Baymax is a big, tall, cuddly creature who is soft and friendly, but when he needs to, he can go, he can destroy, he can do damage. Hence, I said go big or go home, because for Baymax, I am going the big show.
Oh, wow. Oh, I see that. Same size, roughly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Soft, cuddly, kind of a teddy bear, but at the same time, whips some ass when he needs to. I like that. Good choice, BJ.
Thank you, Queen.
You're welcome.
Right. So, who is your second pick?
Well, my second pick, I have to give credit to Mr. Queen too, because I was ruminating on a certain character, and he connected the dots for me, and I thought this was perfect. So I'm going with Lion King, and we're going with Pumbaa. Ooh. Everybody's lovable favorite warthog. Okay, he's besties with Timon. He's kind of your lovable idiot. He's smelly, but at the same time you want to hug him. And he's super loyal and funny. He's part of the comedic relief. He's just such a character that you look at and you're like, oh, fucking love Pumbaa, you know? So I had to go with Otis.
Yes, I thought that was where you were going. And I'm like, please tell me she's going Otis. Please go Otis. Yes, that works so well. I love it.
Doesn't it? He's lovable. He's funny. He wiggles when he dances. It's perfect. And it's Otis is my national treasure. I'm obsessed with him. And Lion King is one of my national treasures in terms of Disney films. So I had to do it.
So just off topic for a second, I don't know actually if you can hear it in the background, but there's a lot of stomping going on in the hallway. My cat is going psycho over something, and she's doing laps up and down the hallway.
Oh my God.
She's turned it into hallway airport.
Oh, I couldn't hear it, but hello, cat.
I think she's gone into the spare room to go to sleep. I don't know why she's gone nuts. She does it all the time. All right, so back to my second pick. So, my one from the movie Aladdin, I have gone Aladdin himself. Now, Aladdin was a common thief, and one of the basic things of a thief is need to know how to lie and steal. And for that reason, I have gone the one and only Eddie Guerrero.
Ooh. I like that. Because even though he lies, cheats, and steals, he's still a good guy.
Exactly. And that's the same with Aladdin.
That's perfect. That's a great choice, too. I didn't even think about Aladdin. It's so funny. So weird how we're obviously we don't know who each other is picking, right? So It's kind of funny to see who does what film. I like it a lot.
When I was doing my research, I came across one. They actually compared Buzz and Woody to Cena and Rock.
Well, I'm really glad you brought that up.
Oh, I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy your third pick.
It's so funny you brought that up, because I'll do a 2-for-1. Because I was thinking about Woody and Buzz, because Mr. Queen and I this year were Buzz Lightyear and the little alien, the Claws by Master alien.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about Toy Story. It's been on my brain since Halloween. And I was like, wait a minute. Andy's favorite toys. This has to happen. So I'm like, all right. John Cena as Woody. Woody's the classic, ultimate favorite toy. Loses a little bit of popularity by Andy. Tosses him aside when Buzz Lightyear comes into the picture. But eventually, Andy always goes back to Woody. Woody's the leader. Woody's the number one guy, as John Cena was in WWE for a really long time. We've had new shiny toys with Buzz coming in. And, that whole pop, and Buzz Lightyear's his own entity, and he fights Emperor Zurg and all this stuff, right? He's a boss. But eventually, where does Andy return? And he returns to John Cena, just like the WWE always returns to John Cena when they need a big match. He's Big Match John, right? He's Big Match John Cena. So that's what I saw for Woody, John Cena. But Buzz Lightyear, I went a different route. I didn't go The Rock. I went CM Punk. Oh. And I'm going to tell you why. CM Punk comes in. Huge rivalry with Cena, right? Big time. Money in the Bank, 2011. One of the best matches in WWE history, in my opinion, in the modern era. He's the shiny new toy. Everybody loves him or hates him, right? Just like the toys did. Some loved him, some didn't. Right? It's controversial. He thinks he can do all of these things, but has to be told that he's just a toy. He's not really Buzz Lightyear, right? Drops some bombs, controversy, trouble with Cena, trouble with Woody, but he's still Buzz Lightyear. And he goes away for a little bit, just like CM Punk. But now he's back, just like the 4th movie this year. So those are your 2 for 1 right there.
I like that. Just when you think you know the answer, the Queen goes to infinity and beyond to give you something different.
I'm trying out here. I'm trying.
All right. So I'm looking at my list because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got a list of 10 and I'm trying to work out which 5 I want to give you. All right. So I'm going to go the route of Monsters, Inc. and go a bit of Pixar here. My character is Mike Wazowski. He's a little bit nuts. He's probably one of the shortest in the group. And one of his favorite colors is green. Well, more so, not favorite color, but he is green, essentially.
Yes.
For that reason, even though you watch him, the way he walks, he walks exactly like Hornswoggle.
Oh my God. Does he really? I'll have to go watch it.
That's how I've got it in my head. I've got Mike walking, and the way I've got Hornswoggle running to the ring with his short little legs, I'm just like, yeah, they've got to go.
Mike Wazowski. I love it. Great choice. I will, when I watch that film, because I probably will on this Disney Plus binge that I'm going to go on later. I'll look at that and then I'll message you. I love it.
All right, so I've given 1. All right, so who is your 4th pick?
Well, technically it's my 5th because I gave you Buzz Lightyear early.
Yeah.
So it's my last one, and I had to go with the ladies. Couldn't leave the ladies out. Wanted to end on a lady, and I'm going with Hercules, Megara. Now, Megara's an interesting character because she's a villain-ish, more like an anti-hero, right? She has some redeeming qualities, but still, she's employed by Hades. And she is a little manipulative. She uses her beauty to get what she wants. But really the problem with her is she has terrible taste in men. She says that several times in the film. And just wants to be loved. And just wants a good guy for once. And poor Megara just gets in trouble with Hades. And the person I thought of right away was Paige.
Oh.
The hair, the attitude, the bad taste in men. Sorry, Paige, but it's true. And working for Hades. That's a little funny jab at WWE. Get it? Haha, funny. And, it worked right away because I could totally see her like flipping her hair and saying the iconic line to Hercules when he's like, his jaw's like open on the floor, like looking at her. I could just totally see that scene happening with her in it. So Paige it is.
All right. So to round it out to an even 5, I will do a 2 for 1 here. Both complete ends of the stick, but I'm going for the Parr family from The Incredibles. And I'm going to focus on Dash and Jack Jack. Now, if you exclude Jack Jack for the minute, Dash is the shorter one, the quick one, based on speed, and got a really good positive character to it. And I'm going to get shot for this for what I'm about to call Dash Pa. But Dash Pa is Shorty G.
Oh!
And yes, I'm saying Shorty G and not Chad Gable.
Oh, can't believe you're embracing that.
I love it.
Why? He looks like the 90s New Kids on the Block outfits threw up all over him.
The best thing I've seen on Twitter was someone compared Shorty G to when you go onto a wrestling game and you start off career mode and that's your generic outfit. And I'm like, yes.
That's so funny. I love it. Great choice, man.
And off to his little brother, Jack, the man of many talents and many powers, has that really sweet, innocent face and then bows his head down. Flames flare up and he gets all that evil about him. And he's got all these powers you just can't explain. And it's why I said Jack Pa was Bray Wyatt and The Fiend.
Ooh, very nice. Mr. Rogers on the outside, Fiend on the inside.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
I think the most interesting choice that I avoided doing, purely because at the same time it seemed the most obvious choice when I was researching it, they took Walt Disney himself, because he's the creator of everything, and said Vince McMahon.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, that's a bit of an obvious choice, but I can see the similarities.
Yeah, I can see the similarities in terms of creation and all that, and protectiveness over their product. That's for sure.
All right. I can't even remember where I saw that. I just remember Googling Disney in wrestling or whatever it was. Because at the start, I'm just like, I don't even know where to go for this. But then eventually I started reading all these comparisons, and then my own ones came up. Like I had Lightning McQueen as Kofi Kingston chasing the dream and being the underdog.
Nice. I like that. I
had Carl Fredrickson from Up, the old guy, doing what he did for love, being Ric Flair. I had Maleficent as Stephanie McMahon, and I even had Mulan as Gail Kim.
Oh, wow.
The last one on my list, and my personal favorite, was Car from the Jungle Book. I had as Randy Orton.
Oh, interesting.
Car being, for those that haven't seen the Jungle Book, keep in mind, I haven't seen Jungle Book since I was about 8 years old, I think. Oh, wow. Early childhood. Car being that evil snake, which is just so Randy Orton.
Well, he is the Viper.
So, if you were to sidetrack from Disney for a bit here, if you were to convince someone to go to WrestleMania, how would you do it?
How would I convince someone to go?
Yes. What would you say to someone that's never really been interested in wrestling and convince them that WrestleMania is the place to go?
Well, if they've never been interested in wrestling but want a great taste of what it's all about, I think an excellent place to go would be Mania, just for the spectacle alone. This is, as I always equate it to people who don't watch wrestling, it's like a Super Bowl. It's the biggest event of the year. It's the culmination of a year's worth of storyline, a year's worth of work and effort to get on the grandest stage of them all. You'll see pyro, you'll see crazy ramps and entrances, you'll see, a show. Right?
The roller coaster around a freaking global dome.
Right. It'll be it's like seeing a masterful like concert mixed with movie mixed with theater performance is the best way I could say it, with wrestling sprinkling, on the top of that. It's the point of why it's there. You'll also get to experience the mass turnout of the world. So many people from all around the world attend manias. I know a lot of people last year from the UK and Ireland and an unbelievable amount of different countries. Like they always say at the top of WrestleMania, like how many different countries have come, and it's always like an astronomical number. It's crazy, just the amount of people, and that I think is in and of its showcase of itself, because you get to see the love for wrestling, for this promotion on such a massive scale. It's like 70,000 people, more sometimes depending on the stadium, and that's something as a non-wrestling fan that I think you could just like appreciate. If you look to your left and your right and up and down all around you, you'll see how much people really love this sport and loves this sports entertainment. For someone who's never been there, that's what I would say, not only to see wrestling. So if you don't like wrestling, you probably won't like a lot of the stuff you're going to see, right? But the spectacle alone, I think, is worth a trip just to see what they have to offer you. And maybe you might be impressed by some of the athletes that you watch in the center of the ring.
Yeah. So I was watching this video on YouTube, and this guy and a group of his mates were in this diner. And he's basically tried to convince them and guilt them and everything under the sun for them all to go to WrestleMania. And they're all sitting there with their dog around the table. And he's like, oh, you should come to WrestleMania. It's the greatest thing, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, I did this for you. Can't you just do this thing for me? And I thought this clip on YouTube was great. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, this is Queen's Random React.
Ooh.
Your last Random React was the Stone Cold speech.
Oh my God, it was. And it made me so happy.
This one is a group of guys sitting around the table, well, guys and girls sitting around the table with their dog. And this guy is trying to convince them that they should go to WrestleMania. And that is your Random React.
Okay.
We gotta go. Like, we just gotta go.
Yeah. Hold on, give me a sec. I accidentally turned the volume down.
It's all good. I recognize that voice right away.
We gotta go. Like, we just gotta go. It's the ultimate slamtastic life-affirming experience of a lifetime. It's WrestleMania.
I don't know, guys. It's not something we're really into.
And I have a lot of reading to catch up on. No, thank you.
Like, come on, guys. Scoob and I never asked for anything. Like, I can't count how many times the two of us were bait to catch some crazy mask-wearing villain. I got the photos to prove it. Take a good look, people. Exhibit A. Like, here's the time you guys made us dress like giant tools to catch the monstrous mechanic. Or as ducks to catch the horrific huntsman. Or when we had to be the cow to catch the crazed cowgirl from beyond the grave. Scooby-Doo almost got milked.
It was so humiliating.
And la piece de resistance, eh? Kindly pose the Senor Pepe Jose in the dancing hairless Chihuahua Don Piero to catch the ghastly Gordito of Guadalajara.
Yeah, the hair didn't even grow back in some places.
Scooby was naked. Look at it. Just look at it.
No, okay. We get it.
You win, Jake.
Win? Wait, what?
I was actually thinking about taking a trip anyway to try out my new Illudium Q36 digital SLR camera and optical stabilizer zoom lens. Maybe I can snap some action-packed pictures.
And this will give me an opportunity to explore the parallels between the modern world of WWE versus ancient warrior customs. Besides, it beats another weekend with Grandpa Dinkley and his mysterious odor problem.
Scooby-Doo almost got milked.
The hair didn't even grow back in some places.
Okay, we'll go to WrestleMania.
WWE City, here we come.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Scooby-Doo.
Just a little off Disney and onto Hanna-Barbera there.
Yeah. So funny, though. I love that Daphne's like, oh, you guys. That's the best.
Can you imagine if there was literally just a city for WWE and they had one big building that they did Raw, SmackDown, WrestleMania and all that. But then they had another one for the WWE Burger Bar, and they had a WWE, another building which was the WWE shop. They had Titan Towers as the main thing in this city. And then they had the WWE camp where all the superstars lived. I suppose you could almost call that Florida or whatever it is.
Yeah, where they have NXT in the Performance Center, Full Sail.
Yeah.
That's where they perform it at. Yeah. That would be really cool. It would probably save them a lot of money in terms of travel, but like I feel like they'd lose out because not everybody would go.
Yeah.
Like only the people in the area would like go to see the performances. Because obviously travel is expensive. So they'd have to make it really accessible in order to get a wider audience. But it would be kind of cool if WrestleMania was always in the same spot, like somewhere in the middle of the country, and then, or whatever, and they do like different things. But I like that it's in a different place every year. I like that it's a different theme every year. I'd like them to do them in other countries.
Oh, hell
now.
Yeah. Bring them down under.
Yeah, I'd love them to do the UK. I'd love them to do Australia. I just think it would be really different and fun to do it in a different country.
Not to Melbourne because they got Super Showdown. Bring them to Brisbane where it's affordable for me to go.
I hear you.
Right.
I've never been to a Mania, so I couldn't tell you. But
yeah. Oh,
I hear it's kind of fun.
All right, so something big is happening this week. Technically, when this episode gets released, I mean, as we're recording this now, he's drunk off his head, God knows where. And yes, Queen knows what I'm talking about. But as this episode gets released, it'll be his birthday. So when he's hearing this, it is his birthday. And for those who don't know who we're talking about, it is our good friend, Mr. Joshua Robinson from Wrestling Reverb. So, Josh, as you're hearing this, mate, I would like to wish you a very happy birthday and thank you for everything you've done for me and Mining for Mayhem. Keep all the good work up because I listen to your show every week and I can't wait to the day where we finally get to collab because that will be an episode worth listening to. So, happy birthday, Josh.
Yay, Joshy! Happy birthday, buddy! You're the man. I love Wrestling Reverb so much, and I loved working with you this whole entire 2019. You're a gem of a human. I just, you're the funniest person I know, and I'm so glad that you're off celebrating today, drinking, watching That's So Raven, living your best life. So happy birthday, buddy.
Yes, and Queen and I have some messages for you from some of your fellow cohorts on Twitter. So we're going to read them out for you. Alrighty, let me find that one. Alright, so the first one I've got comes in from Mags. Good old Magsy says, happy birthday, Joshy. Hope your day is iconic.
Oh my God, that's perfect. The next one we have is from Conrad at Everything Pro Wrestling. He says, just tell him the old BBR crew wishes him a happy birthday.
All right. I'm trying to work out which ones I gave you to. All right. So your next one, let me just double check. Yep. All right. So you don't have that one, which means this is my one. All right. So your next one comes in from Mike B. Bebe. He says, tell your boy that I said, all this fuss over your birthday? You've got to be joking me. Happy birthday, Josh. from your boy, Mike B. Baby.
The next one comes from Heels Pops and Chair Shots, some of the funniest dudes on Twitter. I'm really upset you gave me this to read out loud, but I'm doing it anyway. They say, happy birthday, Josh. Hope you get a blowy. That's our message. Yeah, great. Me too, Josh. I hope so too.
I got that from them, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to read this out on Twitter. Then I'm like, actually, you know what? Queen can read that.
Thanks, BJ.
Yeah, they're basically hoping you get a BJ for your birthday.
That's right.
Oh my god! Wow, that's a really bad nickname. I've just, yeah, okay. So, all right. The next one I've got comes from @Getcho Podcast, the boys from Getcho Wrestling Podcast. All right. They say, happy birthday to the wonderful Josh Robinson. May your day be filled with all the Tim Tams and Vegemite your body can withstand. We're assuming more Tim Tams than Vegemites.
That's fabulous. The next one is from Headlock Talk for Josh. It's not very often that one meets another over the internet and makes a genuine friend, especially when said friend lives on the other side of the world. We have such respect for your hard work and hustle that you put into everything you do. You always find a way to not only make your shows amazing, but you also make every show you go on even better. On your birthday, we wish for you the wisdom, strength, and patience to carry on and take your game to the next level. We all know you can do it. Thanks again for being a friend. Happy birthday, Josh, Tanner, and Steven, but mostly Tanner from Headlock Talk.
All right. The next one I've got comes in from a fellow Aussie JJ who is @BrayWhiteGuy_98. He says, happy birthday, Josh, one of the kindest souls I've had the pleasure of meeting on Twitter. I hope you have a wonderful birthday.
And the last one that I have is from Anthony Talk Stuff. He says, my birthday message is happy birthday, Josh. Here's to hoping your birthday is booked better than an episode of Raw. It's fabulous.
I was going to say that wouldn't be hard to do.
It wouldn't be hard to do.
Josh, as you can tell, we all love you. I hope your day's bloody wonderful. And I hope you intake more alcohol than you can withstand because the results will be hilarious as they were earlier tonight. I know you've been playing Cards Against Humanity. I hope you had lots of fun doing that. And I don't know if there's much more I can say.
I think we've hit it. Happy birthday, bud.
Enjoy your Disney.
Yes, enjoy all of the Disney.
All right. So, what else have you got coming up? What's coming up for Queen in the next couple of weeks?
Oh, my goodness. Well, this will be an exclusive for you. I haven't told anybody about this. So, next week is Thanksgiving, so I'll be just doing a, breakdown of this past weekend in wrestling for this week's episode of Queen's Court. It'll be a short one because we're off on the holidays for the States, so that's be what I'm doing. But upcoming in December, you guys, I'm going to be doing a special series. I will be having the third episode and installment of Queenie Guides, which will be a GCW episode. No one knows that, but now we do. And I'm going to be dropping a very special episode in honor of some podcasts that I feel no one is talking about that they need to be talking about. So I'll be doing a special series all about particular podcasts that I feel people need to be listening to.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. I'm sure I'm going to hear about some podcasts I never knew about.
That's the plan.
All right. So, also on Mining for Mayhem coming up, tomorrow I have the joy of chatting with Adam Brooks, who is the current MCW heavyweight champion, a 4-time Inter-Commonwealth champion, a 3-time tag team champion, He's been trained by Buddy Murphy. He's been wrestling for over 10 years, and I can't wait to do that. That is going to be an incredible interview. So this episode will drop on this coming Monday. That episode will be Monday 2 weeks. Not this Monday, but Monday the week after, in between those two episodes. The episode that will be released is one that I've already recorded with Conrad from EPW, and we talk everything Impact. He was the Impact player of Mining for Mayhem, and it was a great episode. So hopefully you guys will listen to that as well when it gets released. And then later in December, I have an interview with Red Wolf from the Zealots Network. I also sit down with Benji from Calavera Comedies, and that is going to be one hilarious episode. BJ and Benji, the back and forth banter that comes between us two, is going to be loads of fun.
Well, that's certainly a lot to look forward to.
Yes, I have December pretty much booked out. I've done that intentionally. I've got one episode already recorded, 3 to record, 1 more tomorrow, and then 2 in the coming, and that's December set. I booked all these recordings so I can record and then just release the episode every Monday. That way I don't actually have to keep recording each week, and so I can enjoy the Christmas holidays like everyone.
Yeah, nice.
And yes, we've got a lot to look forward to, both on Queen's Court and Mining for Mayhem. Loads of fun coming up.
Ooh, so much fun, yes.
So going back to Disney, seeing as this is our Disney special, you said you've been binge watching Mandalorian and High School Musical, the series. Mm-hmm. What else have you been binge watching?
So I think I'm about to start for my little Thanksgiving break that's coming up. I want to go back and watch all of Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, yes. I've actually been binging a show. I've never watched it here and there, but never ever gotten into it. I've been binge watching Good Luck Charlie.
Oh.
I thought, why not? A lot of my friends have spoken about it. I've been binge watching Crazy The Simpsons, because, I grew up on that.
Yes.
I've been binge watching Kim Possible.
Oh, excellent choice.
There was something else I've been binge watching, but no, Lizzie McGuire is something I want to go back and watch as well.
Yeah, I kind of want to get it in before they start dropping the new stuff, and I'm just not going to have that much time. So I'm like, well, while I'm off, I might as well just start getting that in, you know?
That's actually a good idea.
Right?
All right. So over the next 2 days, back off Disney again, we've got Takeover War Games and not SummerSlam, Survivor Series coming up. I even have SummerSlam crossed out of my notes, and I still said it. Wow. All right, so today we've got Takeover War Games. Mm-hmm. I'll get some of your predictions, see who we think's going to win it. We've got the first match on the list is Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane versus Damian Priest. The winner goes to Survivor Series to face Adam Cole for the NXT Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you got winning that?
I have Pete Dunne winning that.
Yes, so do I. I
Nice.
don't think Priest is ready.
Right.
And even though I think Killian Dane is, I don't think they're going to have a Dane versus Cole match. At least with Pete
I can't
Dunne,
see it.
You've got face-heel dynamic, and you've got an interesting matchup that's guaranteed to be an A+ match.
Right. I totally agree there.
All right, so your next one is Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle.
BJ, do you really have to ask me who's winning this one? You should know the answer, honey. It's Finn Balor all day.
Oh, easy. Yeah. So I've sort of not taken sides, and I've tried to look at it from a more logical point of view, because I'm as much a Finn Balor fan as you are. But I said that I don't know how but I said there's going to be no decisive winner, whether it be a double count-out, a double disqualification. There's going to be something that continues the feud, and I don't think we're going to see a definitive winner. There will not be a pinfall or a submission, and if there is, it's going to come via interference. There will be a third party involved in that match.
Interesting.
All right, so of the 4 games on the card, there may be a 5th, but I'm not sure. You've got the men's War Games match. You've got Team Ciampa versus the Undisputed Era.
Yeah, this is tough. This is tough for me because...
Let's start off with the 4th man. Who's going to be the 4th man for Team Ciampa?
So, if Dream's injury is as bad as they're saying, and he really isn't coming until 2020, like if that's real and not a swerve, then it'll be Kevin Owens, I think. Because of what they're laying the seeds for, and or he defects on Survivor Series. I haven't decided yet. It's really hard to predict because there are so many other elements at play. It could also be the premiere of Johnny Morrison's return, but I don't think that that's the moment because Team Ciampa, I don't think it works. It just doesn't work storyline wise, right? For his return, if you will. So yeah, so I'm gonna go if Dream's injury is really real and not a swerve, it'll be KO. If Dream is fine, he'll return. Because Gargano's hurt for real. So.
Yeah, well, I looked it up on their Wikipedia page, and it says everyone that's injured, and Gargano wasn't on the injured list. I'm like, that's interesting. But
that's weird.
I've seen a lot of people try and predict who it was, and just to stir the pot on who that 4th man was on Twitter. Like, my prediction and what I've been stirring are 2 totally different things. I've been stirring, just to be cruel here, CM Punk.
Oh my God.
I mean, it is in Chicago after all.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna waste. No offense to NXT, but I don't think they're gonna waste CM Punk on that. It'll be a Mania thing, if anything.
Oh,
and he'll come for Seth.
Yeah.
But that would be cool because he did say on the backstage that he identifies more with NXT.
Yeah. So if I was booking it, I wouldn't go big in the sense that I'd go with a predictable option like a Velveteen Dream, or as you were saying down that road. I'd go, like, there's been talks of the unknowns of who it could be, like whether it be a Trent Seven or a Tyler Bate. I've gone even more of a left field theory, and I've gone with Austin Theory.
Oh, from Evolve.
Yes, that's how I'd book it. Because they've teased him coming up to NXT, and I think he's ready, and 2, why not bring in a new face? It's the perfect chance to give someone else a shine.
Interesting.
So, next question is, who wins the match?
I think it's going to be Undisputed Era. Team Ciampa's team isn't really a team. It's more of a ragtag team of people put together, and there's tension and all this other crazy crap. Yes. And whomever is going to come in, I don't think is going to sway it forward for Undisputed. I think Undisputed needs to win right now to keep their train of all the gold going and keep the strong showing. And they're going to put in the most work this weekend. That crew. And they need to make a strong showing on War Games in order to move forward to Survivor Series. So it makes no sense to me for them to lose War Games to go to Survivor Series and lose again, you know? So I think they need to win at home and then lose abroad, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
not Adam Cole, obviously, but the other ones.
Keep in mind, this is the 3rd War Games match and the 3rd one Undisputed Era has been in. That's Undisputed Era are 1-1 so far. They've won 1, they've lost 1. Now, I'm going with Team Ciampa because if I was booking it, I would book Ciampa to pin Cole and use that to set him up as the number 1 contender so he can come after Goldie.
Okay.
That's my logic and reasoning. And at the same time, it also gives Austin Theory a chance to shine if we're going down that route. You've got your women's War Games match, Team Baszler versus Team Ripley. Now, they've chopped and changed who's on Team Ripley. Wait, no, hold on. That's Team Ripley's Survivor Series team, isn't it? All right, so yeah, Team Baszler versus Team Ripley. Who wins this?
See, I always pick against Shayna Baszler because I'm over it. And I just want her to come up to main roster and fight Becky every day. So I've been like, I want Team Ripley to win because the baby faces need a pushover, but I just don't see Shayna losing anything ever. So probably Team Baszler.
I had Team Baszler as well because I just think I'm actually buying in the fact that Dakota Kai could probably turn heel and cost Ripley the win.
Yes.
And speaking of Team Ripley, the Women's Survivor Series team, Toni Storm. How good was
I know.
that?
So dope. I was so excited by that announcement.
I mean, Josh gets excited for Ripley because they're from Adelaide. And I get excited for Storm because we're both Queenslanders. Obviously not same town, but at least same state.
Right.
He's from the Gold Coast. But, all right, on to Survivor Series. You've got your first match is Adam Cole versus the number one contender. And based on our picks, we're both going Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne.
Yeah, we are. And I'm sticking with Adam Cole to retain here.
So am I. I think, yes, he's going to lose the War Games match, but he's going to win this. And I think...
You think... so you think Ciampa... Got it. That's right. You said that. Okay, I remember that.
I think Undisputed Era is going to cost Dom the match. The numbers game is going to be what costs Dom that match.
Okay.
Your next one is probably going to be the easiest pick on the card, is The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Fiend is a shoo-in for me.
Yeah, you can't. Now, I hope it doesn't go 20 minutes like it did with Seth Rollins. I'd actually like to see The Fiend destroy Daniel Bryan as quick as he did Finn Balor.
Me as well.
Because that would really solidify how dominant The Fiend is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you've got, which actually I found interesting on SmackDown. Well, they were saying, will Daniel Bryan call out the Universal Champion Bray Wyatt, or is he going to get The Fiend? Like, they're not calling The Fiend the Universal Champion. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
All right, so your next one is the first of the brand warfare, because there's 5 brand warfare matches, is Styles, your US champion, versus Nakamura, your new IC champion with the new belt, versus your North American champion, Roderick Strong. Who have you got?
I have AJ. I don't see any reason why AJ should lose here, especially with Gallows and Anderson. I'm assuming some sort of like appearance by Undisputed, but they're very busy, so they can't interfere in both Adam Cole and Roddy's match. But it depends on the placement in the card, I suppose. But I assume since the OC will be there, that something's going to happen. Sammy's going to be annoying, but I don't expect Shinsuke to win. I think that I even will go so far as to say AJ will get the pin on Shinsuke, not Roddy.
See, this is where I disagree with you. I think Undisputed Era will play a factor in this match. I think they're going to have each other's backs all throughout the weekend. And I think you're going to have Undisputed Era and OC basically eliminate each other. And then have Sammy cause some form of distraction, giving Nakamura the win.
Interesting.
And I think there's a reason why they gave Nakamura the new belt. And I think that's another reason why they're going to give him the win.
I just don't have any faith in how WWE has been booking Shinsuke. So new title or not, I don't really think that he's going to win anything. And the new title, I think, has a lot more to do with outside factors than just a new title to have a new title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's true. They haven't booked Styles that strong either, nor have they booked the OC overly strong. So,
yeah, I mean, you know, what's cool about at least these matches, which feel way more like Night of Champions than Survivor Series, but what's cool about it at least is you could make a case for each one in some way coming out on top. So like that part is cool. It's not a total 100% guarantee that this person might win this match, except maybe for the Fiend, you know? So that part I really enjoy.
And I want to say the strongest Styles has looked recently is when he went down to NXT.
Indeed.
All right.
I totally.
Oh yeah, definitely. We both can agree on that one. All right. So your second match of the Brand Warfare is the men's elimination match. Now, usually it's SmackDown versus NXT, but now, SmackDown versus Raw. Now they've added NXT to the mix. It's gone from 10 to 15. So this is going to be an utter mess. Who walks away with the win?
I don't really care, but I will say that Roman rarely loses on a pay-per-view, and I can't see him losing here, leading his team on SmackDown. It's going to be melee and craziness. I hope it's organized chaos.
Yeah.
If anything, because otherwise it's just going to look really sloppy. So I hope it's organized chaos. I think NXT is going to make a really strong showing here, but I think that ultimately Roman will get the win for SmackDown somehow.
Yeah.
Or someone unexpected will get the win for SmackDown. You know, something like that, but I think SmackDown wins here.
So I had NXT down for the win, but since I've seen that, I've read on Twitter, do you really think Vince will let NXT beat his own brand? I mean, maybe, like you said, they'll get a strong showing, but going based off what I didn't think of before what you've just mentioned, you don't see Roman lose much. You don't really see Seth lose much on pay-per-view recently. But
Right.
what I'm thinking is it's going to come down to Seth versus Roman.
I think so too.
And then it'll be Seth versus Roman and Braun, because Braun will have a strong showing. I don't know who's going to be the final person for NXT.
Keith Lee would be my guess.
Well, I was thinking Keith Lee or Ciampa, but I could see Lee being the final person.
Yeah, they teased that with Braun on SmackDown last night, so that's kind of my guess. Just to put two behemoths against each other. They need someone from NXT to show out, and Keith Lee's your dude for that, for size and domination. And I mean, Dijakovic as well, but in terms of body mass, you want Keith Lee versus Braun Strowman, in my opinion.
Keith Lee could be the one to pin Braun Strowman.
That would be cool. I'd like that. That's it could be cool, because then that gives NXT its moment. Like, oh yeah, look, we're here to play. But ultimately, they won't win, I don't think.
Because Strowman's been dominant the last 3 years at Survivor Series.
Yeah, indeed he has.
So the next match is the women's elimination match. Who have you got?
This is tough for me. This is hard. I don't think SmackDown stands a chance. I think it'll come down to Raw versus NXT. And this is where I would like NXT to win. Because I think I agree with the assessment that I don't know that Vince is going to allow too much NXT shine on the actual main quote-unquote pay-per-view. I would like it to happen. By the way, I've read several theories in favor of a total NXT sweep at Survivor Series. And boy, I would love that. But I don't think that's going to happen. But anyway. So this is where I would like NXT to kind of take the shine here. But it's also very hard to bet against Charlotte Flair. Because when she's in charge of a team, I just feel like that's tough. How are you going to do that? But the team that they've announced for NXT, I think, is pretty dope. And I think they could do it. So I'm going to put out here that I think this is where NXT is victorious.
Yeah, I'm going to change my pick from what I've got written down. I'm going to go Team Raw. I had SmackDown written down, but I see what you mean by Charlotte not losing, and I'm thinking of who's on SmackDown at the moment, and I'm just like, yeah, it's other than Sasha Banks, it is a really mid-card
It's rough.
team.
Yeah, it's rough.
Raw doesn't have a huge team either. Like, they've obviously got Charlotte, Asuka, Kairi Sane. But then
they have their top three, for sure.
Who are the other two? You've got Sarah Logan.
Sarah Logan and Natalya?
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Natalya will be the wild card, I reckon. She'll either be the first eliminated or she'll get a strong showing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
But Sarah Logan is a weird choice. That came completely out of left field. She hasn't even been on TV in weeks. I don't even know why she's in the team.
I don't know either. It's like these type of matches, like I told you with the men's, I don't really care because it's kind of just throwing people together for no real reason. It's the only thing I don't really like about Survivor Series is like these type of matches. There's no stakes. It's for brand supremacy, but like, okay, and they make like really odd choices about who's going to be there. Now, I will say good for her because she hasn't been on TV and now you're going to be on a pay-per-view. So good for you. Collect that paycheck, honey. Do your work.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. You know what I mean?
And exactly. Good on her because, yes, she hasn't been on TV, but from what I've seen, because I've watched a couple of main event shows on the network here and there, her and Dana Brooke have been on fire.
Yeah,
and why
for sure.
they're not getting utilized, I don't know. But the one thing I do love is, like, we've had quite a few, like, I've said Raw, you said NXT. For the men's, I've said NXT, you've said SmackDown. And then I said Nakamura, you said Styles. I love that we can discuss it calmly and friendly, but have different opinions. Like what I heard a couple of hours ago on this podcast called Queen's Court between you and Josh.
Yeah.
I think you and Josh nailed it on the head. You can have different opinions and yet still talk about it and not attack each other for it.
Absolutely.
And I love that we can do that. And then, all right, so your fourth match of the brand warfare is your Viking Raiders versus the New Day versus Undisputed Era.
Ugh.
Who have you got?
This is another one that I had a really hard time with because I have a hard time seeing New Day losing. They don't normally in these type of situations, but they have been. The way that they've booked Kofi post losing his championship is like laughable to me. It's wild. It's wild. But I also heard an argument about the Viking Raiders, aka War Raiders. They're very protected. No, I would never say that again. They're very protected, if you've noticed. Yeah. They haven't been fighting a lot, and when they do, they win. When they do fight, they're fighting against jobbers. They're not fighting against other teams. They're pretty protected, which I think is really weird. So I'm like, So that gives me pause. And normally Raw comes out on top in terms of like how many of their win versus how many of SmackDown wins, But NXT is the wild card here. I really, really, really want Undisputed Era to win this match. I really do. But I just don't think they're gonna. So I'm still torn between New Day and Viking Raiders, and I don't know what to pick. So I want to hear your arguments first, and then I'm going to think about it.
So it's Viking Raiders, New Day, Undisputed Era, when originally it was Viking Raiders, the Revival, Undisputed Era. I think Undisputed Era are going to get a really good showing. Mm-hmm. They're going to look dominant. They're going to get put over. And I think that's why New Day won the titles off of the Revival. I think the New Day are there to put the other two teams over. And I think the Viking Raiders are going to win it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the New Day is the glue in this type of match. They're the most experienced in terms of like main event WWE pay-per-views,
Yeah.
because Viking Raiders are still relatively new from NXT. Undisputed is NXT, and New Day has been in like countless title matches for, their SmackDown tag team titles or Raw, depending on what brand they were on at the time. So I can see that. And I was thinking really hard about the Viking Raiders argument that I was listening to, and I think I'm gonna lean that way. On my other show, DYWTSB, I picked New Day, but that was Wednesday, and now that SmackDown's happened, I think I'm changing my mind. So I'm gonna go Viking.
And then another thing I thought of was last year Raw got the clean sweep. Like they went 7-0, and then on SmackDown the Tuesday after, because it was on Tuesday at the time, the New Day came out and Xavier Woods was wearing a 7-1 shirt, because on the pre-show, the New Day were the only SmackDown team to win a match if you count the pre-show. But when they were doing the little tally down the bottom in the graphic, they never showed that one because they weren't counting that pre-show match, Brand Warfare. One thing I will say I'm glad they're not doing this year is the Brand Warfare tag team match where they pit 5 tag teams from each show. Because that made it 10 versus 10, which means you'd have 30 men on the ring apron, whether it be inside or out, and that's just...
It's too much. You already have the big matches with the 5 teams, the 5 people teams. You're already going to have, like, how many people in there? It's ridiculous. It's too much. It's too much of that. So it's better that they do a triple threat like they're doing with the mid-card titles.
All right, so the last match of Brand Warfare is Lynch versus Bayley versus Baszler. Who have you got?
This is tough. This is real, again, very hard here. There's going to be shenanigans. I hear a lot of people talking about a 4 horsewomen thing. I just don't see it happening, guys. They've been teasing it for a long time, we've been wanting it, and they're not doing it, so I don't know if it's happening. They're too divided right now for them to come together, and unless we see a Ronda return here, which is possible, to cost who, though? Very interesting. Who is she going to cost? Is she going to cost Becky?
Well,
or is she
realistically, yes.
Realistically, but that doesn't mean that's what she's going to do.
What
if she comes for Shayna? Like, I don't know. Could be very interesting, because Shayna came out in that promo and says, I train with Ronda Rousey, but I'm not Ronda Rousey. And she just kind of like stuck that dig in. I don't know, man. Could be interesting if we see her return at all. Obviously, it would be here. I don't know if she's coming back, though. I don't know. I really don't. I think she might be done.
I've seen something that she's coming back, and it'll be soon, but I just don't know when. Whether I'd book it for the Raw afterwards, or I'd hold her off to the Rumble and have her maybe as a surprise 30 entrant, as the 30th entrant, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. She said she wanted to try and start a family. She ripped her finger pretty much all the way off doing a stunt for a movie. So, I mean, I don't really know. She's like a wild card, and like I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But I don't really care about Bayley at all in this match, and that's a problem. I really just want Shayna and Becky to go at it. But
oh yeah, I'm with you all the way there.
I think it would be better if Shayna pins Bayley here, and then Becky could say, well, you never beat me, and then we have the rematch just one-on-one with them on Monday Night Raw as the main event. I think you would steal the show.
Ooh. Do you have it on Raw, though, or would you have Lynch make that promo on NXT? Because you know you're going to get a better match out of him on NXT.
Are you? I don't know if that's true. I think the night after the pay-per-view, when it's the hottest, I think is your best time to strike the iron. But, if you want to drive your ratings and continue to drive your ratings, then having Becky come to NXT would be smart, but I think you're wasting time.
Keep in mind, matches are a better quality.
What's that?
Matches are a better quality on NXT, and the women get more time down there.
Right, but if they're the main event of Monday Night Raw, they'd get more time. And the matches are better on NXT because the talent is better on NXT.
But you saw Ripley versus Lynch on NXT, and that was just fire.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Becky is the person, when she's in with people that are great, rises to greatness. When she's in with people that are terrible, she has terrible matches. So, I mean, either way, I think it would be great. But I don't know. I have trouble letting Becky lose here as their number one and the face of the company. I have trouble with that on a major pay-per-view, which is why I could see Baszler winning but pinning Bayley if Becky isn't going to win. So this one's really hard for me. I went with Becky originally, but I don't know. I think the better story is if Shayna wins and then Becky can get in her face. So you never pinned me and pull the same Ronda Rousey story that Ronda said to Becky and all that stuff when originally, right? Oh, you didn't pin me. Now they're going to have their match and then we get Mania and all that stuff. So,
interesting.
I don't know. I'm still undecided.
So for me, this is where the War Games match plays an effect. You'll have Lynch and Baszler eyeing each other off, going at it and ignoring Bayley. And Bayley uses that to her advantage, being the sneaky heel that she is, and gets once one of them eliminates the other, gets a real sneaky, quick roll-up on Baszler.
Do you think Bayley's going to pin Baszler?
I think it's going to be a real sneaky heel tactic.
Shayna would be pissed.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think that'll just bring a new fire out of Baszler, and she could almost, I lost that match to Bayley because Lynch costed me the matchup, and then, like you said, she goes after Lynch. I reckon that'll bring a new flair out of Baszler we're yet to see, and that's saying something because she is hot at the moment.
She's really hot. She's undefeated, and, very cool.
Who takes the title of Baszler?
I think it has to be Io or Candice at this point. Or if Rhea is going to stay around and not go back to the UK and be the face of NXT women's division, so Shayna can go up, not really up, over to Raw or SmackDown or whatever, then I could see that happening. It's one of those three, I think.
So there's a storyline that they haven't touched too much on recently. They've had one match since, but they've got quite the rivalry. Is Baszler and Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai has had several matches against Shayna, has never won against her. But yet Shayna was the reason Dakota was out for months on end, if not a year. I would love to see Dakota finally get that victory over, and then almost be what you call the temporary carrier, where she wins it and then a couple of weeks later she loses it, whether that be to Rhea Ripley or Toni Storm or someone else or Tegan Nox. Personally, I want to see that title on Rhea Ripley. I want to see it on an Aussie. Not being biased at all.
No, not at all.
The final match is Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio.
Indeed.
Does Brock win it?
Yes, I think so.
I've got Rey.
Why? I don't feel like there's any reason to give him a title whatsoever. Another title run makes no sense. You bring Brock in to take the title away, and then you're just gonna give it to Rey. I don't know. I don't know that I could buy that.
Brock dropped the title to Seth at Mania, only to win it back from Seth using the briefcase to lose it back to Seth at SummerSlam in real quick fashion. He won
that's
it
a
and then
Seth
lost
storyline,
it
though.
really quickly. And
yeah, that's more to do with Seth, I think.
I think that's what's happening here. Rey Mysterio only got a 2-hour title run, and I think they're trying to do Rey justice from a couple of years ago. I think Brock's going to do the quick hold and then drop it. I think the fans, they're not going to have it on Brock for long because the fans are sick of Brock holding it for a year plus. And I think to make it believable that Rey could win, Cain Velasquez will get involved, as well as Dominic Mysterio. And that's also why it's no holds barred.
Yeah, I'm no. I don't think I feel the same way at all. I don't see them giving Rey a title run. It doesn't make any sense for me personally. Plus, I don't want to see him with a title. And the Cain Velasquez thing, I just think I just like him to go after Brock and have that on a non-terrible pay-per-view and have that for people that we could see. And, because I didn't watch it for obvious reasons. But I'd like to see that in the future. But I don't want Rey Mysterio as a champion ever again. I think Rey's time is over. I think it's time for him to focus on, helping his son in the business, and let's move on. It's boring to me. And
I think this is one final hurrah before he does retire. And I think it'll be Rey Mysterio's had his family attacked and he's finally going to get his comeuppance, or give Brock his comeuppance, whatever the word is.
Cool. Well, we'll agree to disagree.
Oh, yeah. But going back to that horrible pay-per-view, I'm with you. I had no intention of watching it. I was watching something on Netflix, and I got to about 2 a.m, and then my phone beeped at me, said, Crown Jewel starts now. So I put it on, and within 5 minutes, I didn't even see the start of it because NXT UK was on. Fallen asleep, and I'd woken up because it was 2 a.m. in the morning here. I'd woken up at 6 a.m. to Michael Cole screaming at Seth's Halloween Nightmare. I'm like, okay, I'm up now. Let's just quickly not watch the whole pay-per-view, just watch the end of the matches, just so I know who wins them. And I only ended up watching 2 matches of that whole pay-per-view. And that was the women's match between Natalya and Lacey Evans, which was a hell of a lot better than what I thought it would be. And I actually really enjoyed that match. And Cesaro versus Mansoor. Actually, there's another pick of the 4th man to be. Mansoor. For the War Games match. What do you think of that?
I don't know. Possible. I don't know why. Again, this 4th man person has to make sense.
That is true.
I just don't think that that's a move that would help them. They need a high-profile individual for that match, I think.
Speaking of high profile, have you seen the rumors of in the Brand Warfare matches that because they're trying to, NXT's kept their men's team under wraps on who's going to represent the men's. One of the rumors is that Triple H could be on that team.
Yeah, and Triple H has come out saying that he does not want, or he doesn't come out saying it, but there are reports that he is very unhappy with that decision and rumor and discussion, and he wants no part of it. As he should, in my opinion.
But, I mean, that could just be him trying to put us off the scent like they did with the Hardys returning at Mania a couple of years ago.
I just think that that's in poor taste. I think he should be the general and let his soldiers do what they need to do. I think that that's silly.
Well, I mean, they did have the general manager / commissioner of the shows last year do it, where they had Shane McMahon for SmackDown and then Kurt Angle for Raw, and then suddenly Jason Jordan's trying to get on the team and Triple H comes out and then pedigrees Kurt Angle's son. Oh, wow, that was a bad storyline. Oh my god,
Yeah, I know it's been done. I just don't think they need to do it now.
Yeah, they always put a leader in the role, and you're right, it doesn't need to be done. Why give it to a veteran when you could give it to a new star, put a spotlight on it? I saw one where they said they might do it, and it was a really bad pun, but in a funny way. They said they were going to give us a swerve and put Isaiah Scott in there. And I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So one thing I found interesting was 205 Live is part of NXT, correct?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't watch anything 205 Live. But supposedly that's what they're doing with NXT in terms of like having Leo defend his title and have matches or whatever.
Because what I noticed is when NXT attacked Raw and SmackDown tonight, there were the likes of Jack Gallagher wearing a NXT shirt. So I'm like, okay, they're a part of NXT now. Now, what I found interesting about that is who's the 205 Live general manager? It's Drake Maverick, who is also in that scene wearing a SmackDown shirt. I'm like, if you're the brand, the one that you're the general manager of, is a part of NXT, why are you wearing a SmackDown shirt? Then I'm like, is he not the SmackDown general manager? Then I just started overthinking it, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
I thought it was interesting that he should be a part of NXT, but yet he's a part of SmackDown, which is weird because he was chasing around R-Truth on the 24/7 championship on... I don't even know anymore.
I don't know very much either, buddy.
So, when we're done with this, where can all our listeners find you at?
Well, everybody can find me on Twitter at the Queen of NE, and my show Queen's Court drops every single Wednesday on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever podcasts are found. I'm on another show called DYWTSB, which drops every Friday, the main show, and then I do a side project with Pops called the Queen and Pops Experience. On Sundays, we do watch-alongs. So that's where y'all can find me.
Awesome. And as always, you can find me at Aussie Lucian. Mining for Mayhem drops every Monday. You can find Seth at Pegels__. And remember, every Monday, check us out. This Monday, just once again, happy birthday to Josh. You're a good bro. Love listening to your show. Go give him a follow. Go give Queen a follow.